We are almost in single digits, guys. Almost. Are you guys ready for Halloween? Just out of curiosity. I never feel ready. Like there's more to be done, to be gotten. 10 days left. Hey guys, it's Heather the Crochet Witch. How are you guys doing today on day 21? Yeah, day 21 of Vlogtober. Lately I've had to double check every time. Yeah, so how are you doing? Today is what, Friday? So hopefully your weekend is starting well. I am, by the time you see this, either getting ready for or at my first of 2 days of work. Then I have my vacation starting. Hopefully I will get a lot of crocheting done this week because David and Damon are both not able to take vacation time. So it's just me and you guys. I'm hoping to go to the haunted house in the area at least once. Like I want David to go. I don't know if he will. Damon wants to go. So weather provided on his day off, we are going to go. So that'll be a lot of fun. And yeah, I hear they do different themes each year, and they have like 5 different attractions, but I hear one of the themes that they're doing is, I believe, the streets of Salem. So I'm excited to see what that has to offer. Also, anybody who wanted to be kept updated on the saga of my birthday gift to myself from like, not this last year, but the year before, that had all the problems and not cool people involved. I did get my fanfic book started with like the person who's writing it for me. Since that was the birthday gift to myself that I had saved up for. And she sent me like the first snippet just to see, like, she was getting like self-doubt, making sure she was getting things right. And so we like talked it over. Like the only thing she had wrong was she accidentally wrote Hawkins, Illinois instead of Hawkins, Indiana. And I was like, no, everything else is great. It's just that. But it was an easy fix, obviously. But that's starting to progress, which I'm very excited. She plans to do a chapter a month until we decide to stop. So very, very excited about that. Things are looking up. Excuse me. I didn't bring it in here, but I have spent the day kind of being lazy. I took a nap for a little while, which was awesome. And working on, actually, I am working on something that I do need to show you. One moment. I'm back. Sorry, I couldn't save this until tomorrow. I was way too excited to show you. It was something I just like worked on today and finished. And do you guys like that? I mean, I like it, but I don't know if I like it just because I made it. You know what I mean? I think it's freaking adorable. I had to show you guys. It's obviously a hat. Yes, I'm going to put this on. But it's meant to be, you know, something similar to a little ghost in a sheet. I'm probably way too excited about it, but what do you guys think? I showed a couple people tonight and they went crazy over it. So I guess I like it too. I mean, I like it, but I'm saying I guess it's likable. I super love it. So yeah, I ended up, because they loved it so much, I ended up writing up the pattern for it. And actually that is being tested probably as you see this already. I'm so excited about my little ghosty hat. So what do you guys think? But, and I'm going to keep it on too, because I actually really, really like it. But anyway, the rest of the day was spent, I actually watched something not really Halloween-y, but I watched more of, I finally started watching Outlander. I know that there are a lot of Outlander fans out there. I'm on season 2, and I started watching it because, let me just tell you, I don't think I've ever said that I was watching it yet, but I started watching it because one of my favorite actors is in it. It is the guy, if you are familiar with the show, it's the guy who plays her husband, Frank, and the villain, Black Jack Randall. I love him. I first saw him in The Terror, if you're familiar with that show. But I really like that guy. I think he's also in The Crown. He plays older, more mature Prince Philip. So for anybody, Tobias Menzies, sorry, I never said his name. I realized that. But I started watching it, and we'll see. I'm going to stick with it because Tobias is in it. If David Harbour was in it, I'd probably be raving. I know. But I'll see it through. We'll see where it goes. Like I said, I just started season 2. I'll keep you updated on my thoughts. Anyway, oh, sorry. Clearly still not over like my coughing stuff. Yesterday, I had like stomach issues too, really bad. Thankfully, that's gone. I was saying today to one of my friends that I will take like the coughing and the stuffiness and stuff way rather than having like a stomach ache. So like I hate being that sick. And I still have the chills and everything, but I have been like basically parked and napping in front of my heater today and wearing a lot of crochet stuff and covering up with blankets. See, they come in handy. But yeah, that's been my day. I didn't get any cleaning done that I had hoped to do, but I have a vacation. I can do that on my vacation too, right? So anyway, now that we're like 6 or 7 minutes in here, let us open up one of our monster balls, the prizes here. We got a Gremlins one. What are we going to get? Can I open it? Oh, yay! So, like, I've already told you guys that within the different types that I have, like the ET and the Halloween and everything, they seem to be, like, similar types of things. And I've had patches before, but this is a little gizmo patch. Isn't that adorable? And it's like the iron-on kind or whatever. I love it. Gizmo. He doesn't belong on the ghosty, but he's like a good size to just put on a hat or something. He's so cute. Maybe I will just make a black beanie and make a gizmo. That's pretty cute. I like that idea. Well, anyway, so that was that. And I think we're going to do another quick Stranger Things theory. And then we will get to the openings. I know you guys like the opening, right? I know you do. So we talked about spinoffs yesterday, and I see a couple of you guys did agree that Erica's D&D thing would be awesome. I still am fully behind that. We're getting lower on subjects too, you guys. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm trying to make these short, so let's do a super popular one. I'm going to say from the jump, I hate this theory, but we're going to do it anyway because other people have thought this too. So people have predicted that with season 5 being the ending season, that they're going to pull basically a general hospital, or was it a Dallas, where everything was a dream? But instead of a dream, it turns out that the whole thing, the whole show, all 5 seasons, is just one big D&D campaign that the kids are playing. And people think that that's why maybe they've named like the Demogorgon and everything after D&D bad guys. Because it's just a campaign that they're running. And it's going to end up with the kids, back being younger and playing D&D at Mike's basement and everything. So that is the theory. I'm going to say that I hate that theory, just so you know. You guys could like it. It could have come to you naturally and been your idea. I don't know, but I hate it. I would not like for that whole thing to be true. I want the appeal of the crazy unknown things, you know, with the potential happening in some small town. Like, you know, like I had said before, the town that I grew up in was basically Hawkins, only in Michigan and stuff. But I mean, it wasn't named Hawkins. I wish it was actually Hawkins, but just the thought of like that kind of thing could be lurking in the darkness. I don't know. I like that thought. Like, I know that's really bad of me to to like that thought, but I do like, I like the thought of unknown, you know, scary and unknown, and I don't, that's what I live for, right? So definitely I don't like that idea. I don't think that it would happen either, because like, yes, the kids are playing D&D, but does that mean like Eddie Eddie would be part of the D&D group, I assume, but like Hopper, and would they just be NPCs, non-player characters? For those of you who don't know, they're usually controlled by the dungeon master. I don't like the thought of that. I feel like Hopper especially, but like a lot of Steve, Joyce, Murray, all of them, I feel like they've gone through so much that it would be not disrespectful, but like it definitely wouldn't do them justice to like, oh, hey, that was just a story, by the way. I don't know. I don't like it personally. I think that would suck, and I don't think they'll do it either. I had a whole reason why they won't do it lined up, and now I can't remember what it was. That's awful, isn't it? My mind is like working overtime too about it, but I don't think so, you guys. Like, I don't think it'll happen. I don't think I'd be happy about it if it did happen. But what do you guys, do you think that they would do that? And would you like it if they did? I don't know. Anyway, that's where I'm going to leave that. What do you guys think? And then the other stuff that I had was the 13 days of Halloween things. I have 13 gifts that Courtney from Fiberfox Studios and I have done. I don't know what this, so excited I'm fluffing my hair. I don't know. Anyway, she and I have exchanged gifts, 13 of them to be exact, as the name implies. And if you, for some wild reason, are here but don't know Courtney, she's linked down below. So make sure to go give her Yarny love and check out all of her tutorials that she's got. She's like a tutorial machine. She does amazing mosaics and she's awesome. She's really funny, and like a lot of people comment about like her like bubbly laugh and stuff, and you guys will know what I mean. If you know, you know, and if you don't, go find out, because she's amazing. But that being said, so also go to her channel if you want to see the stuff that I sent to her. But we are going to open up day number 3's package. And look, there's Dustin. She got these, most of her gift tags are like the faceless, Stranger Things people. And she wrote the day in them, which I think is ingenious, and I love it. And I wish I had thought of that, but Courtney is awesome. This one has got some shake to it. I don't know what it is. And she's got this beautiful purple paper, which I love because purple is my favorite color. And like I was always mentioning that I'm always trying to like save, like open wise, I'm always trying to save the wrappers. I don't save the wrapping paper for the record, but oh, yes. Yes. As this was the shaking. It is Halloween shaped pasta in Halloween color. Oh my gosh. David does not like pasta, but I freaking love it. And so does Damon. I think I'm going to have to make this. Oh my gosh. I don't think I've ever seen the Halloween pasta. We had Christmas pasta once when I was married to my ex-husband. But, Halloween pasta, tomato and black carrot, durum wheat semolina pasta, made in Italy. There are ghosties and spiders, jack-o'-lanterns and bats of different colors. Oh my god. Let me show you one more time. How cool is that? Oh my gosh, I love it. Thank you so much, Courtney. Damon already thanks you, I can tell you right now. I'm so tempted. Like, I know when I open this, are you guys, I don't know if it's a kid thing and I still do it from being a kid, or if, I don't know. Every once in a while, like if I'm getting like noodles and I'm cooking them, I will grab a couple out and eat them just like for the crunch. Is that gross? Like, do people do that? I don't know. I do it anyway. So I have a feeling I'm going to be like snacking on a couple of these too. I don't know why, but I'm pretty sure I will. Thank you. I love it. Like I said, if you want to see the stuff that I got for Courtney, go check out her channel. She's been doing one each day also so far, and she's definitely winning on the awesome gift exchangeness though. I'm like, this is awesome. So cool. Also part of the 13 days of Halloween, I have this lovely gift basket full of advent calendar goodness that, as you guessed it, is Stranger Things themed. I haven't put up the poll from yesterday yet, but I'm about to. But I will show you yesterday's yarn because I was taking suggestions for what you guys think, because the lady that I gave it to, that I got it from, is also, her Etsy shop is linked below. But she's done so many different yarns this year between Halloween and Christmas that she's not naming, naming the yarns. So there's no name tag on it anywhere. And she's not even showing like the inspiration from it. Which I'm that person. So I want to know what every single one was named. So like, that bums me out, but I'm going to get over it because we're naming it. And then like at the end of the 13 days, I am going to, put a tag on them and name them. But this was yesterday's. And I mentioned, and you guys had agreed, some of you guys had agreed with me, that it was very like Byers family kind of vibe. And very Will, specifically, his vibe. This is the same, almost the same color palette as the Jonathan yarn from last year, but that was from a different dyer. But again, that's Byers family. I can't remember the blanket in Fort Byers, or Castle Byers, I mean, but I thought maybe that's where I was thinking of it from. I'm not sure about that. But I think it was Bella that said this reminded her of a shirt that Murray was wearing. And you know what? I had that thought too. It just gave me stronger Byers vibe. But Murray's a really good guess to it too, or suggestion for it. And then I saw one other one. I can't think of right now what it was, but I was like, yeah, I could see that too. So that being said, I'm going to put a few choices in the poll and I'll put the picture up. I did take pictures now of the yarns. So it looked like the last time I checked, the upside down was beating out Hawkins Lab in day one, but I'll go back and revisit that in a little bit. I'm strongly leaning towards Hawkins Lab for that one though, you guys. Like, I'm totally open to whatever suggestion wins, but I'm really leaning towards that one. But anyway, yesterday's. So when I get that poll up, which hopefully will be tonight, make sure you go vote for me. Not for me, but for the yarn name that you like. You know what I mean. So we're going to get on with today's, which is day 3. I'll give you guys a peek. Hopefully you can see it. I don't know if my finger was in the way. Ooh. Ooh, okay. So it is this beautiful blue and it's different blues. It's a really dark blue with some striped in lighter blue. And there's even like a whitish blue, like a really light blue faded in there. This 100% reminds me of like blue jeans, jean jackets, and the ocean. Do you see where I'm going here, guys? This, I think this would be named Billy. I love it. The other thing that it always reminds me of is a plaid shirt that Hopper wore that was like blue and dark blue. That was in like season 2, I think. But I would think that the blues would be more Billy. And I would hope there is an actual Hopper color in here somewhere. There's going to be. I'm going to name something to do with Hopper. I mean, you guys already know that. But I think this one would probably be Billy. What do you guys think? Or Surfer Boy? Not the pizza place, just Billy as being a surfer boy. we'll stick with Billy anyway. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful blue. But if you could leave me some suggestions, if you agree with it being like a Billy color, or if there's something else that you think that it would be. When I open the poll up, I will also, like, I'll always be putting in like something else, comment below or something like that. So feel free to comment below that poll or here and tell me what you think. But yeah, that's it. I love it. I think it's very pretty. And then at the end of the Halloween, I will let you, probably into November, I will let you guys know what I decided to name everything, and I'll show you again and everything. So anyway, now we have today's creepy story. And this is going to be another one. It was a real life thing that happened. It's from history. It's not American history this time though. But dead airspace for a second there. Sorry. My brain just went elsewhere completely. My friend Andy suggested one also, which I might do tomorrow. I guess I won't talk about that now. But this one anyway was another like historical real life occurrence. There's a lot of mystery behind it. And when I do start my crochet and crime, I would want to go into like more detail and do this one again. But again, like especially with the true life ones, there's usually a lot to be unpacked. And I want to do it justice, but I want to keep it short. So I'm going to try again to do that this time, and know that I will definitely be covering this one again in the future with more detail. But let me tell you, if you have not heard about this famous, mysterious snow-related incident. Again, last night they were snowed in too, right, in that story. But this is the incident of, and I'm going to mispronounce things, I'm telling you right now, because this is all in Russian, the Dyatlov Pass. Have you guys heard of it? There's a lot of mystery behind it because of how these people all perished. There's a lot of questions. It is still unanswered, by the way. But let's get into it. This happened quite a while ago. It happened in 1959. So in 1959, on January 23rd, there was a group put together for a skiing expedition. And like at least one of them was like a really well-trained ski instructor. He in fact was about to get to the highest level of skiing instructordom, however you want to put it, the highest level of as a ski instructor that he could be. And so they decided to do like an expedition into the mountains of, I don't think it was Siberia, but I guess it could have been because there was a lot of snow. But in Russia, anyway. So they got like this permission pass on January 23rd, and that's the day that they set out. They didn't get to the wilderness that day, though. They had left home and they went out for like gathering supplies, staying overnight in the town where they were going to like take off from, that kind of thing. But January 23rd is 1959 is officially when they set out. There was 10 people in this expedition because there was, obviously 10, nine plus the leader. However, one of them left on January 28th, like while they were actually hiking or whatever, because he got really sick and he had to go back. That guy was named, I'm going to be reading these because I don't think I'm going to say it right, but Yuri Yudin. And he actually lived to be 75 years old. He was obviously the only surviving member, just so you know, of this expedition. The members of the group that remained were the leader of the group, which was Igor Dyatlov, which I assume the Dyatlov Pass was named after him, but I don't know that for a fact. I do have to fully research that before I do like the in-depth episode later. But Igor, anyway, Dyatlov, Yuri Doroshenko, Georgi, they also pronounce it Yuri, so there's two Georgi, Krivanishenko, Alexander Kolavatov. I'm sorry. Rustim Slobodin. Nikolai Thibaut Brignalis. Semyon, which they also called him Alexander, but Semyon Zolotaryov. And then 2 women were also in the group. Lindmila Dubinina, and Zeneda Kolmogrova. Hopefully I got those right, or at least semi-right. So that was the 9 remaining people. And they had set out, like I said, from the town, or to the original town that they were going to take off from. That was on January 23rd of 1959. By January 27th, they had gotten their supplies together, gotten their rides procured or whatever, and made it all the way out to the wilderness where they were like dropped off. And that's when they started their actual trek into the wilderness and the mountainsides and stuff, was January 27th of 1959. By January 31st, they had arrived at the edge of like a highland area, and they were preparing, they were camping and preparing that night for the climb the next day, because they were going to, the next day would be February 1st. They were going to try to move up the mountain through the pass and down onto the other side to make camp for the next day, which would have been February 2nd. So they, on February 1st, woke up and they went and moved through the pass, but they had some like vision problems because of like snowstorms and blowing and snow and everything. And with the visibility issues, they actually ended up veering off course by almost a full mile, which is a ways, but like it doesn't seem like that long of a ways. But if you are trying to make it through like snowy, hilly terrain, I would imagine that's like an awfully big mistake, right? So they decided, like, they had a couple options. They could have tried to make their way back to their original course, or they could try to go through the night, I guess, through the pass, which would be really dangerous, because then they're like sleepy and cold and in unfamiliar territory and in the dark, basically. Or they could make camp on the mountainside instead, which isn't really that great of an idea either, if you're not experienced with it especially. But some people theorized that Igor Dyatlov actually wanted to get the experience, so that's why they decided to do it. But nobody really knows for sure. But they did decide to camp on the mountainside regardless. They were originally expected to be back by February 12th, but when the member that had left, that was sick and decided to walk back, had left, Dyatlov actually told him that he thought that it may take a bit longer, so not to worry if people hadn't heard from them, because they were supposed to come back and send like basically a telegram saying like, we're back, we're safe, we're good. And he said, if you don't hear from us for a few extra days, don't worry, because I really think it's going to just take longer than that to go and do our stuff and get back. So they were all, the people waiting behind were all waiting a little bit longer, right? So February 12th came and went. And by February 20th, the families were like freaking out, you know, because now it's been 8 extra days since they should have been back. And that's more than a few days, right? So they're freaking out, rightly so. And they were demanding that a search and rescue operation be started and that the authorities start looking into what is going on with their loved ones. So that did form that day on February 20th. And the searching began, the traveling began, the searching began. But by February 26th, it took that long for the search and rescue people to find any like signs of what had happened. That's when they found the campsite that was on the mountainside. They found the tent. There was like one tent that was there. It was badly torn. It was half collapsed. It was covered in snow, so it suggested that they didn't like just leave it or anything like that. And it had actually been cut open from the inside. So like instead of going to the zipper and, you know, unzipping it and crawling out or whatever, somebody was in such a like rush and panic and that state of mind that they cut the tent open from the inside. And that's basically all they knew at first about the campsite, was that, like, why would that happen? Is, you know, I'm sure they were wondering that. All of the group's belongings were still there, as though they either left in a big hurry or had intended to come back. They did find footprints. They found enough footprints that they could match them to all of the people, all 9 of them, that were leading away from the campsite. But the footprints suggested that they were wearing either no socks at all, like no nothing, or only socks, or some of them had one shoe on, but none of them were like prepared to like be out in the elements. So it was like they got some panic attack by surprise, something, but only their 9 footprints were found. They didn't find any other, like if a bear wandered there and actually got into the tent and that's why they had to cut it open in a hurry, or even another person or anything. They didn't find any other suggestions that there was anything else there besides these 9 campers. Which that in itself like creeps me out, right? Like what caused this panic, basically. So people continued searching after they found these things. And they wandered out, I think it was like half a mile or something, to the tree line of the forest area. And that's where they found the remnants of a campfire that had been made. So basically, like, they wandered and in this big rush from the campsite, took off. Half a mile later, they're reaching the forest, and they didn't want to go in for whatever reason, or couldn't go in, or just were too tired, exhausted, cold, whatever. So they made a campfire, is the theory. And that's where they found 2 bodies of the 9 people. They found Georgy Krivanishko and Yuri Doroshenko. They were found, oddly, at this fire site, presumably under snow. They were wearing no shoes. So they were 2 of the people that were just in socks, and they were found in only their underwear. So what happened to their clothes? We don't know yet, but then the search kind of expanded, because obviously now it's not a matter of where are they alive? They're finding bodies, right? So after the search gets moved out further, they start looking under the snow, and also that suggested like they had been dead for a while because they'd gotten either snowed over, or if something crazy like an avalanche happened, but somehow didn't fully bury the tent. Tent got uncovered in the winds, maybe, but the bodies, either way, were definitely under snow. So they start looking like under the snow, and halfway between the campsite remnants and the actual tent site, excuse me, they found 3 more bodies. Those were Igor Dyatlov himself, one of the ladies, Zenaida Kolmogrova, and Rustem Slobodin. Now, their body placement, like the way they had died and fallen and gotten frozen probably, their body placement suggested that they were trying to return to the camp. So they had been maybe at the fire and trying to return to the camp. They were also in various stages of undress, like they weren't fully clothed, they weren't prepared to be in the elements at all, basically. So what were these people doing, right? The remaining 4 bodies took over 2 months to find because they were so obscured by snow and the elements and so far away. They were actually found under 13 feet of snow, further into the woods. They were in like a ravine that had been snowed over. They were actually in a river in a ravine that had gotten snowed over. So it was almost like a mass grave kind of deal, except with snow. These 4, though, were way better dressed than the rest of them. They were wearing their own clothes. They were wearing like pieces that had been snagged from the other people. So like, did they get them from the campsite? like had they all still actually left like unclothed, they're not ready to be out in the elements, or as people died, did they decide they were of better use to them and, you know, scavenge them off of the bodies? We don't know. But they nevertheless did have some of their clothing. And they weren't all wearing them like in the way that you would think either. Like there was like an article of clothing that I want to say it was a jacket, but I could be wrong, or like a vest kind of thing. But it was like wrapped around one of the girls' legs. So they were just basically trying to like pad extra heat anywhere that they could or whatever. It was very like haphazardly put on. Let's see. None of the bodies, none of them had any signs of external damage. Like if I punch you so hard that I break your jaw, right? I wouldn't, but if I did, you would see, like, yes, the jaw inside would have the trauma. It would be broken or whatever, chipped, whatever my strength is. But you would see, like, where I punched you, your jaw would be swollen. Your jaw would have, you know, maybe indents from my rings, from me personally. But something outside would suggest the trauma had happened inside. Now, the official cause of death originally was that all of them, since they didn't see anything, all of them had said that they died from like hypothermia from the exposure to the elements. Now the official causes of death, 6 of the 9 still say hypothermia, but Nikolai Thibeaux-Brignalis had a fatal skull injury, and that's what he died from. They did originally find that, but they thought that at the time that it was not fatal, that it just was like he just basically got cracked in the head with a branch or something as he was escaping whatever he was escaping. Semyon Zolotaryov he died from a severe chest trauma. So assuming got crushed or something. And one of the ladies, Linmila Dubinia, she had internal bleeding from severe chest trauma. But all the rest were classified as hypothermia-related deaths. I saw in one like report or whatever that one of the guys that had the severe injury, I think it was the chest trauma guy, his trauma to his chest was so bad that they said it should have been made by like basically a speeding car. Like he got like crushed with whatever it was that killed him. But no external injuries. It was just like pressure inside of his body. So in theory, it wasn't even like an avalanche with snow and ice, because something hitting him should have caused some external injury like evidence also, right? So yeah, basically nobody knows what actually happened. It was just this huge mystery. Some people have said that there's basically like, I forget the name, but it's basically like snow insanity, where you're in a panic, you're freaked out, you're worried, and something causes the hysteria. Maybe it's called snow hysteria. I might be wrong about that though. But that was one of the theories anyway. It was that basically just madness from the situation. Some people said there was an avalanche and they were trying to like escape it any way that they could. And then those who didn't die in the avalanche were trying to scavenge clothes and all that kind of stuff and ended up getting killed later. But all 4 of them together like that. And the 4 that were found in the ravine in the water were actually missing different soft tissue samples from their face. Like different body parts were just gone. One girl even had her tongue was gone. That could have been, I suppose, from wildlife or fish or just the water running. But again, all 4 of them and different parts, and nobody knows. I believe the military had gotten involved in investigating it. And the investigation had officially ceased in May already of 1959 with no answers at all. But the files were sent to a secret archive. I don't know why. Some other like evidence happened. Like one of the guy's relatives found undeveloped camera footage, like film footage that had been returned with his belongings and donated them to, like, I think it was a museum. Some of the diaries had been made, like, after a certain amount of time had passed, they became like public domain so that people could read through the diary entries that they had kept in their like journals on the way, because those things had been recovered. And in February of 2019, the Russian authorities reopened the investigation, although there's only 3 explanations being looked into, and they're all like natural disaster related. So they're all like, one was a hurricane, like a hurricane in the middle of the Russian wilderness. Okay. I mean, I guess that could happen, and it depends on exactly where it is, I suppose, too, but maybe I'm not well versed enough to know, but I don't think I've ever heard of a like a hurricane in Russia. Like snowstorms, yes, and all this crazy stuff, but not a hurricane. I could be very wrong. Like, I know even in Michigan, we've gotten like hurricane gales and stuff like that from the big hurricanes that are off on like the seaboard area. So I suppose anything's possible. But that one just seemed really weird to me. But they're all like basically just weather, national or natural disaster related type things. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. There's been a bunch of different like documentaries and movies on the subject. People have suggested that it has been like military experiment things that had killed them. Some people suggested that it could have been natives in the area, but I don't think they ever found any evidence of that, like of other people at all of any kind being there. Some people have a very strong theory is that it's alien related and the government's trying to cover that up. But yeah, nobody officially knows. So what do you guys think it could be? And have you ever heard of that before, of the Dyatlov Pass incident? I think at one point the Dyatlov Pass was closed off to people, like to the public. I believe it's open now. I could be wrong about that, but I think it's open now. Probably with a lot of warnings up is my guess. But anyway, I think that is everything that I was going to cover on the topic tonight. Tomorrow I will do Andy's suggestion. I can't wait till you guys find out about that, because I was actually thinking about doing it already and he suggested it. So yay, suggestion from rock stars. But all right, I will let you guys go. Let me know if do you guys like this? Honestly, if you do, let me know. But all right, I will talk to you guys later. I love you. Bye, guys.